Hi everybody, this is Epileptic in the Park, and today we're going to cover Epcot. I love Epcot. All the parks are amazing, but I love Epcot has different times of years for different themes. I'm sorry if I missed some of them, but we got the Wine Festival, the Art Festival. I know it has a special name, and that's my favorite one, so I can't believe I'm not thinking of it. The International Food Festival. There are a lot of great things in Epcot. It also has the monorail that goes to Epcot, so how can you not love that? Um, my guide through this park is I love everything about this park. There are some things I have to avoid, but are fantastic for the friends I'm going with or the family I'm going with. They have Guardians of the Galaxy at this park. They have the Frozen ride at this park, Ratatouille ride, some really great stuff. They also have this great spot where you can go in and actually see animals. I spent a lot of time at that. The aquarium. I couldn't think of the name for aquarium. So they offer the spot with the aquarium. I spent a lot of time at this at drop off because I let my friends and family go on the high weight rides at drop off at rope drop. And I know it's insane that I go to rope drop because I can't do anything early at Epcot, but I really like going into the aquarium when nobody's in there. I literally have been in there 3 times where I'm the only one and I get to go around and watch the dolphins and see all the fish. I love going into the aquarium. If you go up the stairs, there are seats and benches and you can just watch, and that's totally fun to do. It's fun to be part of a different world that you're not a part of, and I definitely think that's awesome. I don't take a lot of pictures when I'm in the aquarium usually, because I just sit back and enjoy. Do have some fun spots for pictures though. My sister and I got a great one where we're in a shark's mouth once. That's in the kids part, I guess, of the aquarium, and that's also awesome. How I get through Epcot as an epileptic is actually much easier than most of the other parks. At least when we usually go, I love to go during the art festival. There's so much to see. They have chalk art going. I actually got to see one of the chalk arts being drawn. The last time we went to the art festival. Um, when I was a kid, I was not into Epcot at all. I did not care about going around the world. They do have a ton of worlds there. The worlds they have there are Mexico, Norway, Paris, Germany, Italy. Um, they have a ton. Japan. I like going around the world now as an adult because I appreciate it more. I definitely had a good time going to China this last time that I was there. Of course, Donald Duck has a meet and greet in the World Showcase, so you know I gotta go there. My brother wasn't too bad about letting me drag him over there either, so I could get Donald Ducks in Mexico. They had the Caramingo ride there. I did not make out on this ride, so if you are epileptic or light sensitive, I would not go on the Donald Duck ride. Yes, that's what I call it. I know it's about other characters, but come on, Donald Duck's my favorite. But even though the ride was difficult, the building is awesome. They did have some fun stuff I could actually do when you first go in. They have a machine that was about Coco, so I did get my picture taken like as a skeleton, and it didn't flash. It was a little bright, so I would recommend maybe wearing your sunglasses if you're light sensitive. Also on the outside of the building, it's just beautiful. I love the cast members that I got to talk to over there in front of the Mexican city. They told me all about the ride, even though I said I really couldn't go on it again. I really loved Mexico, and that's probably one of my favorite cities. Next time I plan on doing the stamps around the world. They have this for kids, but I think I'm going to do it as an adult. They say any age, and I think it'll make me appreciate going around the country a little bit more. My sister's looking forward to doing the Figment hunt that they have while we're there, so that'll be fun for her. I think I'll help, but I don't know if I'll do that hunt. I think I'll do the kids stamp book. They also have different activities for different times. We've gone during the food one, and you can get a book for the stamps for the food for the different countries. I'm not really a foodie, even though you would think I would be, but I'm not, so I don't do that one. There's a ton to do in Epcot if you are light sensitive and epileptic. Um, it has a lot more things for us to do and a lot less things for us to avoid. I found the shops weren't as noisy. Now, I did wear earplugs just to be on the safe side. But a lot of the shops, because they're open, they have a lot of doors. So they keep their doors open, thankfully, or at least when I was there. So it does have the noise sort of going out. It's nice in that sense too. I didn't get to meet Figment because he is inside. If you're light sensitive, it is very noisy, and he is inside, so they do have the flashes going, so it's not an easy thing to do. They do have a lot of spots to sit at Epcot, which is cool, especially because there's a lot of walking. One of my favorite things about Epcot was, of course, the caramel popcorn. Oh, I'm sorry, the maple popcorn. I got it a ton. I love maple popcorn. I didn't even know I did until I went to Epcot, but I do. So maple popcorn is definitely a plus at Epcot. One of the other things I would say when you go to Epcot, if you're light sensitive, be careful what dark buildings you go into when you're going around the world. Japan had a meet and greet for one of the princesses. I couldn't make it in there, so my sister did and my brother did, but I did go in. But because it is so dark in the Japan buildings, I couldn't stay in there because the flashing was just going off the walls and bouncing. So definitely, if you're light sensitive stuff, maybe have a sibling or a friend go in first, see how dark it is, because if anybody does choose to do flashing lights in the dark buildings, Japan seemed like the only one I really had to avoid. Then those flashes will be even brighter. They do have a lot of spots to sit, as I said. The boat ride is awesome. When I was there, it was down in January last year. And then when we went in September, it was working, but ours almost sort of stopped. So I am glad that I'm hoping that gets a remodel soon. Sorry, Disney World, the boats weren't the best in Epcot last couple times I went, but we're putting in a new thing in the middle, so that's probably why too. They weren't running as normally as they would have. One thing is, if you do go with somebody with mobility issues, the wheelchairs are at the very front of the park or in the back. So if they do need a wheelchair, we did have to run back for a family member. It is quite a hike. So, make sure you take plenty of water with you or stop for water quite frequently, because you don't want to, especially as you're going around the world, collapse or get dizzy, because it is a lot of walking. One of my family members had a scooter and made out great with the scooter, though, and it didn't die the whole time we were there. We were there for hours, so that was nice. I think it was the park I was the most independent at. I really could be left by myself a little bit more because it was so outdoors. There was so much space. It didn't get as noisy for me. I didn't have to put in the earplugs quite as much as I did at the other parks. Plus, it just was amazing to feel independent when you're going to a big park like that, especially if you are light sensitive and stuff, because in most of the parks I have to make sure I'm with somebody. But I could kind of sit by myself a little bit more in Epcot. get back and forth a little bit. Even though I didn't choose to do that, I felt I could, which was nice to have the option. One of the things I probably wouldn't do again, I went in to meet Elsa and Anna, and even though the artwork going in is incredible, you really feel like you're at their home. They have a box. So, and the box wasn't like it was like for Olaf that I couldn't go in at all. I could go in. It didn't really flash that much. Um, but it was much harder to do. So I probably wouldn't do them again if you're light sensitive, even though there are great characters and really fun. But if you're really into Frozen, you can get to the exit without actually going in. And I got amazing pictures with my sister there. And it looks like you're visiting the different spots from the movie on the exit of their picture taking. So you can do that without going into Frozen. And so those are options if you're really into Frozen, but you don't think you can go in because of the box situation. That is an option. You can still get some pretty cool Frozen pictures. I did do rope drop for Frozen, so I maybe was in line for a half hour before I met them. Mine was probably a little bit longer because they did try and turn off the lights so I could go in. If you tell the cast members your issues, they really do try and work with you so you can get all these great experiences in. Epcot was wonderful with that. I didn't have any problems with any of the photographers really asking them about taking off the flashes. I think one gentleman had trouble, but he said, I can take your phone and get some great pictures that way. And I still got the great pictures in front of the globe. And I love the figment sign. That was probably one of my favorite golden statues throughout the different parks because I thought it was so unique and special. The Pluto meet and greet outside was fantastic, and I didn't need any flashes. And because you line up on the side of Pluto, anybody else taking flashes, it's easy to avoid if you're with somebody. I had my sister with me, and she just would be the one looking, and I would just kind of turn around so I didn't have to see the flashes, and she would tell me when we were moving up in line. And everybody in line was really nice about it too. So I ended up talking to the people behind us quite a bit because they had a kid and they liked my Disney shirt. So I actually had a shirt pretty similar to what I have on now with the different characters. So they were pointing out all the characters and telling me which ones they were. If you go as a Disney adult, remember, kids find this so, it is so special to be a kid there. Remember to let them have fun and be kids and chill a little bit. I saw a couple adults get kind of angry when the kids were pointing out stuff like that, but I remember they're kids and them knowing something. If you know it, pretend you don't. Let them have some fun. I actually have much more fun just letting the kids be kids around me, and it gives their parents a break too. So just remember that it's your vacation, but it's theirs too. And you can make a kid have a really fun 5 minutes while they're waiting in line. Remember to do that because everybody needs that 5 minutes because it can be anxious. If you're getting tired and hot in line, think what it must be to be a little kid that doesn't understand why it's taking so long. So thank you so much for joining me for my memory lane through Epcot because I didn't have too much advice with Epcot besides different spots to avoid, like Japan with the dark building, because it was the park I was most independent at, and I had a ton of fun. I definitely hope to go back in January, not only because my two sisters' birthdays are in January, so that was really fun for everybody to say happy birthday to them, but because I felt the most independent and the art festival was really fun. If you go at the art festival, one of the coolest things I found is they have these little like pictures that you can go inside and take pictures of. We didn't know it when we took the first couple pictures, but they actually have on the outside of each of them what the picture originally was, so you can pose in that position. So if you go, definitely get a chance to do that. A lot of them did not have photographers there, which was cool because then they didn't have lines and we could just walk up and do it. It was really a good time. And I hope that you enjoy Epcot and let me know any tips you have for it, what your favorite spot is. And thank you so much for joining and find a reason to smile today. Bye.